So this is from LA Times. It's Trump gained support in California. What does that mean for the so-called resistance? Newsom wants the legislature to approve $25 million litigation fund to protect abortion access, climate change policies, disaster funding, LGBTQ plus rights, and to challenge policies that he says could harm the state. And this is in response to his special legislative session. But Resistance 2.0 is proving to be awkward. Yet, yes, Democrats maintain their supermajority in Sacramento, but support for Trump in California has undoubtedly increased. And Republican state lawmakers have called the special session and all the talk about Trump-proofing California mere political theater. Quote, the people of California sent a clear message during this election season. They are done with the majority party's failure to address the most important issues we face. They are ready for a return to common sense, solution-focused governing. Senate Minority Leader Brian Jones said in a statement, quote, we are thrilled to see Californians standing up against the Democratic machine and declaring enough is enough. After county vote tallies were finalized, Trump earned his final blue to red flip in rural Imperial County, a longtime Democratic stronghold that borders Mexico and Arizona. Trump beat Harris there by 463 votes, becoming the first Republican presidential candidate to win the county since 1988, when voters chose George Herbert Walker Bush. The county, which relies heavily upon an agriculture industry whose workforce could be decimated under Trump's deportation plans, has long struggled with poverty and unemployment. In October, Imperial County's unemployment rate of 19.6 was the highest in the state and more than 3 times the state average. Quote, there's no financial constraints on the Democratic Party. Tax, everything for everybody, and you don't have to work for it. We're driving the financially responsible people out of California. Those that are tied to the land who can't leave are going to have a bigger burden until the end, until they break, and their children are going to leave. Trump flipped 9 California counties that voted for Biden: Butte, Fresno, Merced, Imperial, Inyo, Riverside, San Bernardino, San Joaquin, and Stanislaus. So it's 9, not 10. So it is, I think when they say it is awkward this time, in 2016, California was still very, very blue. These counties that I just mentioned were still blue. Now you have 9 counties that have flipped for Donald Trump. So it takes a little wind out of your sails to be the resistance when you got rebuked in your own state by your own voters. I think that is probably why this time around, this whole resistance idea is not coming off as strong, or it does kind of seem awkward or forced. Like Newsom's trying to be the resistance. You got Rob Bonta out there trying to be the resistance. Like we're going to talk about San Diego County is trying to be the resistance. There's not as much appetite for people having California be the resistance when the state is trending in the opposite direction of the resistance. What are your thoughts?
Right. Yeah. Well, do you know how many counties in 2020 out of the 58 voted for Trump?
I don't know that number.
Is it 9? That's like 9, flipping 9. That's like 15% of all counties. Didn't do the exact math. Nobody'd be like, oh, you suck at math. Yeah, I suck at math, but it's give or take, it's 15%. But I'm curious how many counties then are actually red. But yes, I think, and I feel like we've discussed it a few times, that it does seem like the Democrat support, the extreme, it's like the liberal support it's waning. It feels like it's, like I've even mentioned, like the Prop 36, as much as Gavin Newsom was so outspoken, and he tried to strike it down, it overwhelmingly passed. I mean, it was like 70%, give or take. That just kind of shows like his influence. It's, earlier this year, he was able to, of course, the timing was interesting, but he was able to get Prop 1 passed, but then Prop 36 that he was so opposed to, overwhelmingly. It wasn't even close.
No, I think his influence and probably why he's so upset. So this is to give you an idea, because you asked about 2016. So this is what the map looked like in 2016 when he originally won. Lots of blue, but now
Just
all of
blue.
this
That middle stuff
is now red.
is now red.
So
Do you have 2020? I don't know how many counties that is, but
I think I can find that.
it may not be up yet, since they've only have they been certified?
So this is 2024. That is huge.
Well,
So
that's
actually 2020 looks almost identical to what Hillary Clinton won, what Joe Biden won, but this is 2024. That is stark difference. Like that is a huge difference.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm gonna have to look up the number later because I'm curious how many counties went.
So you can get an exact percentage.
Yeah, just because I'm curious.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before with Gavin Newsom, why he was so against Prop 36 was it not because I think he didn't think Prop 36 was, maybe he didn't think Prop 36 was a good idea. I think it was an ego hit for him of, well, I'm telling you Prop 36 isn't good. And look at all these great bills I'm signing. And I'm working hard to stop retail theft. And it didn't budge the needle at all. Like it didn't move the needle. Basically, 70% of Californians were like, nope, voting for Prop 36. We're not listening to you. It was like such a strong rebuke of Gavin Newsom that I think it sent shockwaves through him. And that's why I said Prop 36 was the most consequential election of 2024 for Californians, is it really kind of sent a shockwave through the political establishment here in Sacramento. But yeah, I think it's harder if you keep in mind what that map in 2024 that we just showed you compared to previously. Yeah, in 2020 and 2016, there was a lot more blue. It looked more popular to be the resistance to Donald Trump. Now, when you look at a map of California that is way redder, much more red, you look at it and go, okay, well, there isn't that much appetite for resistance anymore. Like, obviously, people want Trump and they don't want you to resist Trump. But
You think?
yeah, go ahead.
How do I phrase this question? So, this support, this turned red. Do you think this is Trump or people tired of liberal extreme politics, extreme far left politics, or a combination of both?
I think it's a little combination of both because, like we said, the map looked very similar when Brian Daly ran for governor. So the state itself, when Trump's not on the ballot, is trending more red. I think it looked more pronounced and it got more coverage and it got more legs because it was a presidential election, and the idea of like Trump flipping that many counties in California made a lot more headlines. But if we're looking at the historical trend right now, yeah, California is trending red. And I think there's more people who are getting fed up with Democratic policies. They're looking at everything kind of going like, it's too expensive. You tax us to death. Regulations are out of control. Affordability. We can't buy a house. Like it's enough that we're all going to start going over to vote for Republicans. And I think, what was it? Over 100,000, well over 100,000 people registered to be Republicans in California just in the past year alone. And then I don't think the Democrats picked up nearly any registrations. So,
Like, do you think DeSantis could have drummed up that kind of support if he had been?
I think based on what we saw 2 years ago, I think he probably would have done, maybe he wouldn't flip 9, but I think he probably would have done pretty well, to be honest. He might have done a little bit better because DeSantis isn't Trump. So maybe there's less aversion to Trump. Hey, thanks for checking out the California Underground podcast. If you enjoyed that clip, make sure you subscribe, like, share, review, comment, all that stuff that helps with the algorithm, helps people find us more. And if you want to learn more, you can always listen to our full podcast at Apple, Spotify, Google, all those different places that you basically find podcasts. Or if you just want to keep watching clips, you can check out clips here, or you can subscribe to our channel right here, somewhere in here.